Hi everybody, welcome back. Now today I'm going to be doing an updated list for my Drytron deck, but this is a no fairy Drytron deck, or no Herald at least. So this is just Drytron with hand traps. I posted a list like this a little while ago, but I'm going to be playing this as an updated version for locals this week. I was originally going to call it something like What If Eva got banned, but the ban list has just come out and Eva's at 1, which doesn't really affect the deck at all. But this is the list I'm still going to be playing on Wednesday. It's just Drytron with hand traps. I've also kind of built it this way in preparation for something like Crossout Designator. So you can definitely easily fit that into this deck with no worries. And you're playing a lot of hand traps, so you're quite resilient against hand traps with something like Designator as well. But to start us off, we are of course playing the 3 Alpha and the 3 Zeta. These are just the best ones. In my previous list, I've always been playing 3 Gamma. I'm cutting it down to 2 just to see how it goes. I'm playing 2 Delta, and I'm still playing the 1 Beta. I don't mind playing the 1 Beta. It could very easily just be the 3rd Gamma, but I'm just going to play it this way and see how we go. And the 1 Drytron Ritual, who in this deck is a one of your main monsters that you're trying to get on turn 1. For the Fairy Engine, I said this in my Buster Blader Drytron deck list, but we still like a small Fairy Engine, and I'm playing 2 Diviner, 1 Egerton and 1 Benton. I've upped it to 2 Diviner just because the first one always gets stopped, it seems, and having the second one gives you a play on turn 3 to then still send your Herald. So I'm only playing the one Diviner target, which is the Herald of the Arclight in the extra deck. But yeah, the first one always gets negated. So I'm also making allowances for that in the extra deck as well, which we'll talk about when we get there. I'm going into spells. I'm playing 3 Nova, 2 Emergency. I've been playing 2 for a little while, though this might be 3, and I'll explain why with the next card. So I'm playing 2 Ready Fusion with Steam Gyroid as my target. Steam Gyroid is a level 6 machine with about 2200 attack, I'm fairly sure, so it kind of fits a lot of requirements for the deck. Being a machine is good. You can ritual spell, get rid of it for something else. It's a level 6 for Beatrice, and it's just another level 6 extender, which is really nice because if the Diviner does get stopped, you have your level 2 tuner, and there's plenty of ways of getting level 6s onto the field. So I'm playing Chaos Ruler in the extra deck, and I'm just going to test out. It's my first time playing Chaos Ruler in the extra deck, so we'll see how that goes. If the Steam Gyroid, so I've ordered it in the mail and it might not come in time. If it doesn't come in, this will probably just be the 3rd Cyber Emergency and the 3rd Gamma, and I'll talk about that in the extra when we get there as well. I'm playing 1 Fafnir, playing 1 Medionis, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 Called by the Grave for the spells. Okay, so the rest of the deck is the hand traps. So the hand traps that I've chosen for this locals is just obviously matchup dependent. You can obviously change this and tweak this for what your locals would be. I'm playing 3 Ash Blossom. It's obviously just very generic. I'm playing 2 Nibiru, playing 2 Lancia. I'm playing 2 Cosmic because control decks are a thing, especially at my locals, and 3 Impermanence. And then the last 3 cards, making it a 42 card deck, is just the Dragoon requirements. Dragoon becomes a pretty important boss monster on turn 1 as well. So these are the hand traps I'm going with. Now, if you were to play something like Crossout Designator with this list specifically, so I built that with Crossout in mind, I would cut down an Imperm and an Ash. So I'm playing 2 OBS for all of my hand traps. And the last card, it could be anything. So for example, it could just be the 1 Fafnir. It could be the 2nd Diviner, for example. Probably just the 1 Fafnir. Or you could cut down the Ready Fusion for the 3rd Cyber Emergency and just take one out for the third Crossout Designator, but there's space ready for Crossout to go in. I like having pairs of hand traps, specifically because these are hand traps that are good at my locals in particular, but also they're in pairs. They're obviously still fine with Crossout Designator if you have it. Obviously we don't care about, we're not going to be using Crossout Designator on Lancia or Cosmic because that's not something that our deck particularly cares about, but being able to stop Ash, Imperm, Nibiru, and then in the side deck we've got Droll as well, so that's the main one we want to stop. Going into the extra deck, it's mostly fairly standard probably. 2 Fafnir, obviously Fafnir is insane, 1 Zeus, 1 Beatrice, and I've managed to get the Downed back in, which is cool. The Chaos Ruler, the Herald, the Dragoon. This is this themed gyroid. So if it doesn't come in time, what I will most likely end up doing is cut the Chaos Ruler and the gyroid, and these will become probably Nightmare Phoenix and potentially the Lyrilusk rank 1. I miss playing that, so it could be the card that I go for there. The rest of the extra deck is the Link monsters. Playing the Underworld Goddess, I think this card's just insane. Playing Aphromax. Now this is funny because I've sold my access code talker with it not being in the tins, and it jumped a lot of money, a lot in price, so I sold it for Aphromax. I sold it, and I'm going to use that to then obviously buy the Crossout Designator, and hopefully if access code gets reprinted, cheering. If not, Aphromax is okay. The typical end boards of this deck, I'll just finish the rest of it quickly: Unicorn, IP, Verte, and I'm in favour of Anima over Link Karibo. But my logic here is I typically end on something like IP, Verte, and the big Ritual and Dragoon as my end board, and so IP plus Verte is a really easy Aphromax, and obviously we'll have a lot of protection, so it's just summoning into a towers, which is pretty nice. It's obviously not an access code talker, but it's a towers. It's, you know, it alongside Dragoon and the Drytron Ritual should be fairly difficult to out, so that's why I've gone that way. Okay, for my side deck, we are featuring the return of Neospatian Aquadolphin. I think this card is just awesome in Drytron. Because we typically don't care about our normal summon in this specific build, yes, we can normal summon Diviner, but you don't have to. So similar to what I was talking about in my Buster Blader deck list, you don't have to normal summon the Diviner. I was trying to normal summon the Buster Whelp in that list, but we can still use Ben 10 to get into Eda 10. That can get us into Beatrice, or we can just use Ben 10 to, there's things that we can do with just Ben 10 without needing to use Diviner. So having Neospatian Aquadolphin is really good going first, because it obviously can pull out Droll from our opponent's hand or any other hand trap that we might want to stop. The next in the side deck is 2 Droll. Now Droll is okay at my locals, it's not the best card, but it's another card that I potentially would side in games 2 and 3 as a Crossout target. Now obviously I'm not going to have Crossout for this locals, it's not out yet, but just in preparation for that, Droll is a card that I'm going to side, and it's okay at locals. I'm playing 2 Lava Golem, this was previously 3, and to go with that I'm playing 2 Dark Ruler. This was another choice, getting ready for Crossout Designator as well. It would be nice to use Crossout to call Dark Ruler. Personally, I think I prefer Lava Golem as the card, but I thought I wanted to be able to have the option to negate Dark Ruler with something like Crossout Designator. So that's why I've gone for 2 and 2. Otherwise I would have just gone 3 Golem, but I think I want to still have the option of stopping Dark Ruler, potentially. So I took out 1 and 1, just for 2 of the copies of Neospatian Aquadolphin. Playing 1 Natasha, I think Natasha is just insane. It's a really strong card. like starting into or games 2 and 3, but particularly game 3 for time. And then the rest of the side deck is our spell and trap removal. I'm not going to go into any combos or anything. The combo lines are fairly standard at this point. But pretty much, like I said, we're trying to end on something like IP, Verte, and the Drytron Ritual. And yeah, that's what we're going with for this week. Thanks for watching.